Did my answer upset her? Obviously, you dunce! You freaking dense piece of wood!
Okarin? If Mayushi's a burden, just say so, okay?
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die on this world line right now. Right in this one right here, I'm gonna die right now. No, don't do this to me, dude. How's it going, everybody? HoodlaMutt here, back with some more Steins Gate. And last time, oh boy, it's just ramping up from here. We've had some interesting discoveries in the last episode. We tried to track down the people that were taking away the IBN 5100 from the coin locker where Moeka had put it. Moeka decided to come with us when at first she refused to do so that she could find out who FB was. And then we found out that part of the people in this long string of moving the IBN 5100 around to, make sure in case they were followed that no one would be able to track them, we found that they eventually took it into the possession of Tennoji. To which then, after doing some time leaping, we found out that Tennoji is in fact FB, which stands for Ferdinand Braun, the one who created the filament for, I believe, the light bulb, if I'm not mistaken. We were held at gunpoint by Mr. Braun in this kind of tragic scenario, and Ney was nowhere to be found. Rather than killing Moeka, M4, FB Tennoji killed himself. And when we went back to Moeka's with Kuritsu, we found at the door waiting, well, after we got inside, someone who knocked on the door was Ney, who was carrying a cleaver and killed Moeka because she was destined to die in this world line, supposedly. Ney seemed rather psycho, and so I believe that Ney has had her memories put into her body by some form of time leaping accidentally, like she picked up the phone for someone else, and so someone else is actually inside of Ney's brain. That's my personal theory currently. But aside from that, even though I feel like we should have grabbed her and tried to interrogate her to figure out what the heck, why did you do that, and who are you, and why are you so evil suddenly, we just kind of let her go for the sake of doing the D-mail, because I guess that wouldn't really matter anyway, once we did the cancellation D-mail, at least from our perspective. So we did so, and we got the IBN 5100 back in our possession, and we were celebrating until we found out, or realized, that it is on this world line that Mayuri doesn't die, supposedly, but Makase Kiritsu does. And so with that, let's get into this episode. I thought that I had found the solution, that everything would be all right. But the equation was meaningless. I had solved nothing. Instead, I am left with a terrible choice. Mayuri or Kuritsu. One of them must die. Radicon is still off limits. They haven't yet prepared the hole that Suzuha's time machine made. I look down through the hole at the streets of Akaba. From up here, they look narrow and stifling. Scared the crap out of me, holy crap, okay. Across the way, a train rumbles by. I watch the yellow striped cars move past. I came here because I wanted to be alone. The day before yesterday, I abruptly canceled the attempt to hack CERN. Kuritsu and Daru demanded an explanation, but I just couldn't give them one. The decision has paralyzed me. 2 days later, I am still nowhere close to finding an answer. What do I do? 2 weeks ago, on July 28th, Dr. Nakabachi held a press conference in this very spot. The same day, Kuritsu was murdered. Let's say we go through with the plan and delete the first D-mail I sent. the one about Kuretsu's death, from CERN's database. That would return us to the Beta worldline, where it all began. What would happen then? According to my predictions, our friend, lab member 004, Makase Kuretsu, would disappear. But see, we don't really know why she was killed in there, right? I mean, we found her after the time machine landed on top of Radicon. So what if something happened to the timeline and that's why she ended up dead? Maybe she wasn't just sitting in there lying in a pool of blood. Maybe she, like, kind of teleported there via time, right? It's not, like, in other words, maybe the timeline where Mayuri doesn't die also, like, that doesn't mean that Kuretsu dies there. Maybe she just got put there because of something else that happened. So if we could fix that thing from the Beta world line, then we could probably save both, right? Am I thinking clearly on that? Like, if it wasn't that world line that said Makase Kuretsu had to die, right? Because that's what the game has been leading us up to believe right now, right? With, Moeka dying, it's like she was destined to die at that day, at that time, somehow. Same thing with Mayuri. But, like, just because we believe that doesn't mean it has to be that way, right? There could be another reason for why we found Kuretsu. And we don't know who killed her. I think we just know that it was either a gunshot or a stab wound. I can't remember which. I think it was a stab wound. So, I don't know. I still feel like there might be another way out of this, if we think hard enough. Someone who died on July 28th cannot be alive now, on August 15th. That would defy causality. A time paradox. That world line has already rejected her existence, or so we think. The moment we erase the D-mail, Kuretsu will cease to exist. And so, I am left with two options. Option 1. Hack CERN with the IBM 5100 and erase the first D-mail I sent, thus returning to the Beta world line. Kuretsu will disappear, but Mayuri will live. CERN will never build a time machine, and the future will be free. Option 2. Don't hack CERN. Keep living here on the Alpha world line. Mayuri will die, so will Moeka and FB. Kuretsu will likely be kidnapped by CERN, but at the very least, she won't die. Well, not until, remember, she will die eventually in a probably traumatic way, like, 25 years from now? That's what Suzuha knew, right? So, and we know that the whole world goes out of balance. I mean, there really is only one option. And it's to reverse everything that we've done up to this point, right? Assuming that we're the cause of why CERN ends up, taking over the world. Like, this is kind of greater good mentality here. It's like, yeah, Kuretsu might die. And again, maybe not. Maybe there's a way around that. But, like, one person dying versus many, many other people being enslaved, it's kind of a sacrifice I feel like you have to make. Even though you care about her, It's like, I don't know. That's just my mind. But, I don't know. Especially, too, because once you're on that Beta world line, you could try to figure out what happened to her and maybe get some clues and then, figure it out from there. At least do what you know to do right now. I guess that's where I would probably be at. But yeah, no, this is definitely still a hard decision. With her research, CERN will gain control of space-time, and the future will be a dystopia where no one is free. Exactly. And I'm supposed to choose? Ridiculous. I choke out a laugh. How am I, of all people, supposed to make that choice? There's no way. I don't really care about the future. whether it's free or ruled by CERN. What? What? You don't? Did you not? I thought we cared. Haven't we cared this whole time? I've cared. You didn't care? You don't care about what Suzuha wanted? What? Hello? Okay. Do you not also care that you die in 15 years because of it? Hello? I know I should care. Suzuha entrusted her wish to me. Doesn't that make it my responsibility? But still, it doesn't seem quite real. 20 years is a long time. Right now, only Mayuri and Kuretsu matter. I must choose which to save. No, okay, but if you don't save Kuretsu, or if you don't save Mayuri, and she dies and whatever, you're going to be enslaved for the next 20 years. You're saying 20 years is a long time. This is not 20 years of potential freedom. This is 20 years of enslavement, trying to figure out how to make time travel work for a evil corporation or whatever conspiracy group this is, right? The organization, CERN, you know? Like, I don't think he's thinking that clearly on that, you know? Like, I don't think he's thinking about those elements, but I feel like there really is an option here that outweighs one over the other. That's just assuming, though, that still doesn't happen, even if we go back to the beta world line. We're just assuming that that's the case, right? So, I don't know. If I had been given this choice back on July 28th, before this all started, I probably would not have hesitated to abandon Kuretsu and save Mayuri. But it's not July 28th. It's August 15th. I've spent 2 long weeks with Kuretsu. She's one of us now, an integral part of the lab. And as I leapt through time again and again, she was the person I relied on most. Always calm, always thoughtful, always ready with a new hypothesis, always there to give me a push when I needed it most. I wouldn't even have the time leap machine if not for Kuretsu. It's thanks to her that I made it this far. It's also technically kind of thanks to her that all this happened. Because had we not have made the machine, I don't think CERN would have come after us, right? Isn't that kind of the case? Or did they come after us just because we hacked them? I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like because they knew about our time machine. So, you know what I mean? I mean, it just, I don't know. That's just the way I'm looking at it. But after all she's done for me, there's no way I can abandon her now. But nor can I let Mayuri die. Everything I've done, I did it to save her. I would give anything, even my own life, to see her safe. More than anything, I want her to live. No matter what, I won't let her die. I can't choose. I can't! Kill Kuretsu or kill Mayuri. That is what this choice comes down to. Is this how it ends? I drive my fist into the wire fence. Suzuha, Faris, Lukaku, Moeka. Is this what I sacrificed your memories for? Is there no other option? No way to save them both? What if I use Suzuha's time machine? I could return to the beta world line, then use her time machine to travel to July 28th. No, that won't work. The reason Suzuha leapt to 2010 was to prevent CERN from creating a dystopia. That only occurs on this world line. On the beta world line, she'll have no reason to leap to 2010. Suzuha's time machine won't exist, so I won't be able to use it. Alright. Then, what if I send Kuretsu a warning via D-mail? It could say, "Don't go to Dr. Nakabachi's presentation." No, that won't work either. Remember, causality converges. Kuretsu's death is inevitable on the beta world line, just as Mayuri's is inevitable on this world line. Again, like, okay, I know the game is telling us this, and I keep going back to this old dead horse that I keep kicking, but it's like, do we really know that? We really are assuming that Mayuri won't die, right? We're really assuming that. Because there's nothing really there's no hardcore scientific principle that says that when we go back to a certain world line, this person will be destined to die at this point and this person won't be. I mean, we kind of have seen it happen, but is that enough evidence to really say that it's going to happen? I don't know. And I don't know if you can base your whole everything based off of that. But I mean, I get it. It still is a tough decision. And you're just, if you're assuming that that is a possibility, then you have to still live with that idea. So I don't know. Like, I would say that the last thing that he just said about sending Kuretsu a D-mail could still maybe help. You know, at least you'd be trying. You'd say like, well, you know, this is what I'm thinking the case is, but I'm going to try and see if the D-mail works, and we'll just see what happens, right? I don't know. No matter what I do, fate will ensure her death. There's no way. I slowly sink to the floor with my back against the fence. I can't save her. I'm powerless against the will of fate. What should I do? What should I do? Maybe Mayuri doesn't die on the current world line. I canceled Moeka's D-mail. Plus, I haven't had an opportunity to check the divergence meter since. Might there be a chance? If the pattern continues, Mayuri's death has been pushed back to the night of the 17th. If Mayuri doesn't die between 7 and 8 p.m. that night, then I won't have to face this horrible decision. I know it's unlikely. I understand that from all of my experiences so far. Which again, your experiences are, at least, you've had CERN was the one that killed her, all except for Nay pushing her, and I still think that Nay is part of the organization because I think that there's someone else in her head. So I think she came and pushed her and then said, oopsie, I'm just a little girl, right? So I still think that that's all CERN. I don't think that all of this is happening because fate wills it or God wills it or whatever, right? I don't think that that's the case. I still don't believe that, but that's what the game's telling me, so I kind of got to run with it. I don't know. I keep going back to that because it doesn't, I just don't fully believe it because every time she's died, it hasn't just been some random occurrence. Well, okay, we can say the other time was the police officers that just shot her, but how do we know that they weren't part of CERN? They could have been. They could have been dressed up as police officers, you know? I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, and then when we went to try and get the IBM 5100 out of the coin locker with the crowbar, police just happened to be there and arrest us, right? But were they police? Or were they not? You know, were those police just watching to make sure no one took the IBM 5100 until someone who was supposed to come and deliver it took it and took it away? Or am I just thinking way too hard about this? I don't know. I guess I should just run with the idea that this is going to happen and whatever. But I don't know. I can't get that out of my head. But still, I can't help but cling to that hope. Mayuri and Kuretsu. If I can just save them both, then I don't care if the future is ruled by CERN. Why? Dude, that's real selfish, my guy. I'll betray Suzuha's dream, if that's what it takes. So please, let Mayuri live! To whom should I make this desperate plea? God. God? Yes. Fate? No. The universe itself? Definitely no. Either way, I am just one insignificant human among billions. Will my prayers truly reach? To God, yeah. Yes, absolutely. I already know what the answer will be. And that knowledge, that certainty, is despair. Kamama runs for 3 straight days, from the 15th to the 17th. On the last day, I go with Mayuri and stay with her from morning until Kamama closes. It's not really my thing, though, and the crowd is ridiculous, so I wait off to the side with Mayuri's bags. From time to time, Mayuri appears with new bags for me to guard, and usually a snack for us to share. But most of the day I spend alone. To some extent, I'm here to escape reality. To empty my mind and forget my fears. But even when I close my eyes, I can still hear the footsteps of death approaching.
Ah, we're finally home.
It's already dark by the time the bus drops us back at Akaba. Mayuri is dragging her costume case behind her. I'm carrying bags covered in moe artwork and loaded with doujinshi. These are all Mayuri's purchases, not mine. Had to throw that in there. I can't believe she bought so much. I guess the reason she doesn't cosplay herself is that she's too busy shopping. We get off the bus and just stand there for a while. What are you gonna do now? Head straight home?
Actually, I was thinking of going to the lab.
Need something?
Not really. But it's been a while since I got to relax with Okarin. I'm a little hungry, so I'll buy some juicy chicken #1 on the way.
Maybe Mayuri wants a taste of normalcy again, now that the chaos of Kamama has ended. I can't begrudge her that. I stifle a groan and shrug my shoulders. Back to the lab, then.
Hey, Okarin, why did you come with Mayushi today? You've never come with me to Kamama before. You're not interested in moe, right?
I like robot anime. But not so much that I'd line up early in the morning for Kamama each year, like Daru and Mayuri do.
So why did you come with me today?
Well, to confirm your death. Those words pop into my head, but I quickly shake them away. Why am I so set on Mayuri dying? I want her to live, remember?
Well?
I just felt like it.
Oh. Aww.
Suddenly, silence. A downhearted frown replaces the usual smile on Mayuri's face.
No!
Did my answer upset her? Obviously, you dunce! You freaking dense piece of wood! But it's not like I could tell her the truth. How do you tell someone they're going to die? Lukako. I frantically try to smooth things over. I thought maybe you'd managed to get Lukako to cosplay. So I came to laugh at him. Too bad he didn't come.
Yeah. Luca-kun would be super popular if he did come, though. People would take his picture and post it all over the internet. Then everyone in the world would see how cute he is. And after he becomes a superstar, Mayushi would see him on TV and think, wow, he's gone so far.
It's scary because it's true.
Okarin?
Suddenly, Mayuri turns around and peeks at my face as she walks backwards.
Thank you for today.
Why are you thanking me?
Well, like I said, this is the first time Okarin's ever come to Kamima with me. It made Mayushi really happy.
A smile finally returns to Mayuri's face.
Ah, but you know what would make me even happier? If you cosplay next time.
Yeah, I'll think about it. That's right. Don't think negative thoughts. Think about a fun, bright future.
Really? You'll cosplay for me?
Only if you cosplay too. Lukaku too. And Christina, of course. Convince them to cosplay first. If you manage that, then I, the great and insane mad scientist Haowen Kiyoma, will grace Kamima with my august presence. The next Kamima takes place this winter. We'll all be there, as if none of this ever happened. All of us, laughing and smiling together. Just imagine a future like that.
Wow. That's gonna be tough. But it sounds really fun, too. Besides, I think Chris-chan secretly wants to cosplay. So there's hope. Mayushi's gonna do her best.
We arrive at the lab. I look up at the second floor, but there's no light in the window. Oddly enough, there's nobody here today. I've got a bad feeling about this. Is Moeka going to ambush us? On the previous worldline, I forgave Moeka and Tennoji. But that has already been undone. This is a new worldline. The Rounders are still alive, and they're still after the time leap machine. Wait here, Mayuri. I motion for her to sit and wait on the bench in front, then I carefully check the area. I know my efforts are likely futile, but still, I want to do anything I can. Anything to give Mayuri a chance, however small, of surviving on this world line. Yeah, he's right. I wasn't even actually thinking of that because we have the IBM 5100 now, which they want that and our time machine, so they have all the more reason to try and ambush us. Oh boy. Something tells me it would be foolish to go straight up to the lab. So first, I decide to check the street for any suspicious people. I walk down the street towards Kureme Bashidori, careful to always keep Mayuri in sight. Huh? Suddenly, a white station wagon parked at the end of the street fires its engine and takes off in our direction. What? I can see clearly through the front window. The man in the driver's seat is unfamiliar. But I have seen the station wagon before. It's the same one Moeka used to run us over on a previous world line. The same one Tennoji used to transport the IBM 5100. And now it's bearing down on me at full speed. I'm in the center of the road. There's nowhere to run. The station wagon flips on its high beams, instantly turning my vision white. I can't move. It's all happening too fast. Mayuri's gonna jump in the way and she's gonna get killed, right? I expected an ambush inside the lab. Instead, I'm facing a charging car. What do I do? I'm fine. I won't die. This worldline hasn't approved that fate. No. Wait. What day is it? This is the first time I've made it to the 17th. Does that mean my death is still undecided? Will I die in Mayuri's place? If that will save her, if that will end this, then maybe it's for the best. No! I don't want to die yet! Two contradictory emotions collide in my mind. My body doesn't know which way to turn. Will I be the one to die? Oh, Karin! No! Oh, no! Something slams into my back. Oh! No! I open my eyes. I'm lying on the side of the road. My whole body hurts, but I don't appear to be seriously injured. Someone saved me? I look up to see the station wagon's taillights disappearing around the corner. And there, lying in the center of the road, is Mayuri. Mayuri! I run to her side. Mayuri is bleeding from the head. The pavement is slick with blood. Did she protect me? But that's not what I wanted! I lift her body up in my arms. Her eyes twitch, then slowly open.
Oh, Gary.
Mayuri. I'm sorry. It's my fault. Her hand wanders, as if seeking something. It reaches for the starry sky. Her eyelids are heavy. They could close any second now. But still, she looks straight into my eyes. And for the same reason, she smiles.
Finally, she was useful to Okari.
What? Stardust handshake. Her delicate fingers grasp at the sky. But all they find is empty air. Her arm goes limp. I grab her hand before it hits the ground. Mayuri is no longer breathing. I've seen her die countless times. But this time, it's too much. This time, it's all my fault. I embrace Mayuri's tattered body, her lifeless, motionless, tattered body. I clench my jaw and bite back my tears. Mayuri. You can't see the stars from here. How could this happen? Why did she have to die like this? What possible meaning could this death have? Yes, it happened because fate demanded it. Yes, her death is unavoidable, the result upon which this world line converges. I knew from the beginning that this would happen. But I never imagined that she would die saving me. And with a smile on her face. What do you mean? You were finally useful. Tell me, Mayuri. There is no future for Mayuri on this world line. And that brings me once again to the choice. Do I return to the Beta world line, killing Kuretsu? Or do I leave things as they are and accept Mayuri's death? I can't run away. I am the one who twisted fate. I am the one who must decide. The sky is blue. I'm on the roof of Radicon, after going back 56 hours with 2 time leaps. I lean against the wire fence and stretch out my legs as I look at the sky. I wanted more time to think. That's why I came back. Last time, I spent 2 days refusing to face reality. But that is no longer an option, now that I've confirmed Mayuri's death. This time, I need to reach a decision. But how? This equation has no solution. No matter what choice I make, someone dies. From a purely utilitarian viewpoint, I should choose the Beta world line, where CERN never creates a dystopia. But it's not that simple. Not for me. There must be some other way. According to Suzuha, 2010 is a point of great divergence at the attractor field level. I think that divergence has already commenced by the time I sent the D-mail reporting Kuretsu's death. So when did divergence begin? I can't say for sure, but I think it was the moment we completed the phone wave named Subject to Change. That was around the middle of July. Daru and I deemed it a failure right after completion. By the time Kuretsu was killed, there was already a huge divergence at the attractor field level. Now that I think about it, reading Steiner activated that day, when I sent the D-mail that started it all. At that moment, every pedestrian and vehicle on the main street of Akaba suddenly vanished. That feels so long ago. But now, I can finally explain it. That was the moment I moved to the Alpha world line. On the Beta world line, where this all began, Suzuha didn't arrive in her time machine. Dr. Nakabachi's conference went ahead as planned, and the flow of tourists and shoppers through Akaba was unimpeded. No, but didn't that happen after the time machine came here, which was not anything that we did? Isn't that what kicked everything off, was the time machine like landing on top of Radicon, and then we went down and found out that like there was nobody down there? Isn't that when that happened, or was that after he sent the D-mail? That might have been after he sent the D-mail, actually. So from what I remember, the first event that happened in this game that was significant was that this time machine landed on top of Radicon. So, I don't know. But when I sent the D-mail, events changed on a huge scale. From my perspective, at least. On the current world line, Suzuha crashed her time machine into the roof of Radicon. Nakabachi's presentation was cancelled, and this part of Akaba was closed to traffic. Because I was out on the street when the world line changed, it appeared to me as if thousands of people suddenly vanished. Right? Okay, so that happened when he was out on the street? I thought he sent the D-mail out on the street and that's when it happened. Okay. The truth is that they were never there to begin with. Like a magician's trick. It's so obvious once you understand how it works. The real problem is the timing of the D-mail. I moved to the Alpha worldline after Kuretsu died. If I had sent the D-mail before she died, then I might have been able to intervene. Even now, on this worldline. But no, that would defy causality. I sent that D-mail because I saw Kuretsu's body. That's the way it has to be. Who killed her anyway? I still don't know. It definitely wasn't suicide. What if I identify the murderer and send them a D-mail warning them off? Would that prevent her death? I mean, no one has tried to kill her on this world line, have they? Maybe there's a chance. However, to send that D-mail, I would first have to move to the Beta world line. The more I think about it, the more futile it seems. I've already seen Mayuri die countless times. Everything I tried to prevent, it failed. I understand all too well. When fate wants someone dead, nothing can stop it. I can't save Kuretsu.
There you are.
I thought I was alone, but it seems that I was wrong. I turn around to see Kuretsu standing in the open door. I avert my gaze. I can't look her in the face now. Not now.
What are you doing here?
Nothing. How did you know I was here?
You said you wanted to be alone. I ran the numbers and concluded that I had the greatest probability of finding you here.
Then leave me alone. You don't have to look for me. I'm not a lost little boy.
Hey! Is that how you treat someone who's worried about you? Not that I'm worried about you or anything.
Right after she gets herself flustered, Kuretsu sighs and puts on a serious expression.
I was going to leave you alone at first. But you've been acting weird the last couple of days. I mean, you're always weird, but more than usual. You look like a kid forced to eat crappy oatmeal. What happened?
Nothing.
Then why did you cancel the cracking of CERN?
You're the one who said we shouldn't.
Oh, so you're afraid of triggering arrest flags? I get it.
You should praise me for obeying the law for a change.
It's not like you at all. What happened to your ego? What happened to the insane mad scientist? How Owen Kyo—
Screw my ego! This time, it's not that simple. I have forced my ego on others before. Suzuha, Faris, Lukako. I sacrificed their dreams for the sake of my goal. I justified it by telling myself that it was necessary to save Mayuri. I weighed their suffering against the alternative and made my self-righteous choice. But this time, the alternatives are impossible to compare. I have to choose which friend to let die. It would be so much easier if I knew what was right.
Which friend to let die? What are you talking about?
I'm just a student, Christina. You know? The insane mad scientist Haowen Kyoma? That's just a fantasy. A character I made up. I bet you had no idea.
I may have figured that out when we first met.
When we first met. What if I hadn't found Kuritsu's body back then? Let's try imagining that situation. If I hadn't seen Kuritsu dead, I wouldn't have interrogated her before the seminar at ATF. Without hearing me call her a zombie, she wouldn't have taken an interest in me. She wouldn't have come to the lab. Ultimately, we would never have built the time leap machine, leaving me without the means to save Mayuri. And of course, Kuritsu would not have become our friend. We would not be as close as we are right now.
Tell me, Okabe. What do you mean?
I can't meet her questioning gaze. Do I have to tell you?
You've never hesitated to ask me for help before. Don't hold back now.
That's not what this is about. Then prepare yourself. What I'm about to tell you is the absolute truth. And it could also be your death sentence.
Huh?
Kuritsu's voice cracks a little. Remember what I told you before? When we delete the D-mail from CERN's database, we'll reach the beta worldline, where Mayuri doesn't die.
And where CERN doesn't take over the world, right? Everyone lives. Everyone is free. You made it sound perfect.
Perfect? It's anything but. I showed you the first D-mail, didn't I? The one that started it all? On the beta worldline, the events described in that D-mail actually happened. Kuritsu is a genius. I have no doubt that she understands. Kuritsu. On the beta worldline. You die on July 28th. And according to the attractor field model, nothing can prevent that from happening. If I want to save Mayuri, I have no choice but to let you die. Kuritsu says nothing. What expression is she making now? I reluctantly sneak a look at her face. She's staring out across the cityscape. Her eyes look distant. I see neither fear nor sadness in her face. She seems accepting. Kuritsu is always like this. Always calm, no matter what. It's hard to believe she's younger than me. Her soft chestnut hair blows in the wind. She lifts a hand to hold it down.
Hey, Okabe. How credible do you find this attractor field model?
Credible?
It's all secondhand info from John Titter. From Amane-san, isn't it? I get that it's the accepted model in 2036. But how exactly did scientists prove the existence of attractor fields?
See, this is what I was saying. How do you know that this is actually going to happen? You don't know. Are you trying to say the model may be wrong? But I know for certain that convergence exists. I've experienced it firsthand.
Even if they're right about convergence, what about the relationship between world lines?
The moment I change world lines, everything is reconstructed. Past, present, and future.
But that's just from your perspective, Okabe. Once you go to the beta world line, that me that your brain perceives will die. In other words, your perspective will have chosen the world line where I die instead of the one where I don't. However, why can't the world your brain perceives be different from the world my brain perceives?
Brains. I forgot her specialty was neuroscience. So you're saying world lines are independent?
Like trains, maybe.
Trains?
Let me give you an easy example.
Kuritsu takes out her phone and starts fiddling with it.
If I want to take a train from Akaba to Yokohama, which route should I use?
I didn't know you were a rail fan.
It's just an example. Jeez. You choose to take the Yamanote line to Tokyo Station, then transfer to the Tokaido main line for the rest of your trip.
Kuritsu keeps talking as she looks at her phone, apparently reading off an itinerary.
But I take the Yamanote line to Osaki, then transfer to the Shonan Shinjuku line. Another person, say Hashida-san, might decide to take the Kaihin Tohoku line for some reason. And Mayuri might ride the Shinkansen from Tokyo. You and I ride the same train until Tokyo Station. But from there, we ride different lines, while still aiming for the same destination.
And that applies to the universe? You're claiming the existence of parallel worlds?
I like to use my imagination too sometimes. But where's the proof that there's only one world?
Suzuha said so. And then there's reading Steiner.
In other words, an unknown time traveler and your unexplainable superpower.
But we knew Suzuha.
There's no way to prove that she was Hashida's daughter, or anything she said about 2036 either. Not without going there ourselves. And if reading Steiner is what you say, then it means that your subjective experience influences the memories of every single human being. That's completely absurd, Okabe. If it's true, then you're literally a god. But there are no gods in reality.
Hey, watch yourself. There is one.
The world doesn't revolve around you. It's just your brain making you believe that it does. If that makes you this world's god, then I must be a god too. My brain is just as big as yours.
What are you trying to say?
Let's say you choose the world line where I die. That doesn't mean I have to do the same. The fact is that I am standing here right now, observing the world with my own subjectivity. I already exist on a world line where I don't die. Even if your perspective shifts to the beta world line, my perspective might remain here. It's a question of where the soul lies, and I won't let you have your way with my soul.
No true scientist would accept a hypothesis that flimsy.
But there's a chance I'm right. So you have nothing to worry about.
Kurtzu smiles. How can she smile? I just told her that she's going to die.
The problem is that you don't want to let me die, right? But if my hypothesis is correct, I'll still be alive on another possible world line. So there's no reason to be afraid.
It's just a hypothesis.
The same is true of attractor fields. It hasn't been proven. Even if someone did prove it by 2036, that doesn't help us here in the present. In other words, anything is possible.
Kurtzu turns her back to me after finishing. It's an armchair theory. A daring armchair theory that could, quite possibly, render meaningless everything I've done up to now. How can Kurtzu stay so calm? She's just an 18-year-old girl.
You really don't have to worry about me, Okabe. It would just hurt my pride if you did.
Huh? Don't say it like that. Oh, what the heck? Okay. Hello? Mayuri?
Yeah.
Displayed on the screen is Mayuri's face, devoid of its usual brightness for some reason. What's wrong?
I heard from Daru-kun that Okarin's been acting kinda strange. Mayushi was so preoccupied with Kamima, she didn't really notice. Even though she usually notices right away when Okarin's not happy. I'm sorry, Okarin.
Don't apologize. You've done nothing wrong.
Did something happen? Okarin?
I can't tell her. I can't. I've kept it a secret from her all this time. That's the way it has to be. There's nothing wrong.
Oh. You know, you used to talk to Mayushi about a lot of things, remember? Like, the organization's 4 leaders. Their names are Back Turkish, Virginian Burp, Balloon Drag Queen, and Wide Eye Gore, right?
Black Tortoise, Vermilion Bird, Blue Dragon, and White Tiger.
Yeah, that! You know, it was really fun talking to Okarin about stuff like that. But now... Okarin? If Mayushi's a burden, just say so, okay?
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die on this world line right now. Right in this one right here, I'm gonna die right now. No, don't do this to me, dude. What? I never...
I'm hanging up now. If you feel like talking to Mayushi about anything, just call, okay? Do-do-do.
She hung up on me.
What did Mayuri say?
How are you a burden? Don't say things like that, darn it! Why is she only serious at times like this?
A burden, huh?
I've never felt Mayuri was a burden. Not once.
Then you should tell her that.
Maybe it wasn't a good idea to leave Mayuri in the dark. She never looks like she's thinking anything. And yet, she saw my doubt? Either way, I can't tell her the truth.
Okabe.
Karitsu sighs, then glares at me.
The old you wouldn't have worried about anything. Anyway, you should go see Mayuri. I'm sure she has a lot to say.
She's right. Even if I don't tell Mayuri the truth, I need to at least tell her something. I'll postpone my decision and go see Mayuri.